Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to explore the transformative journey of learning to be happy alone in your life. In a world that often glorifies companionship, we sometimes overlook the profound joy that comes from being in our own company. Solitude is not a state of emptiness, it is a fertile ground for self-discovery and growth. Self-discovery is a profound and ongoing journey that invites us to delve into the depths of our inner selves. It is the process of exploring who we are, what we value, and what truly brings us joy. This journey often begins when we find ourselves alone, facing moments of solitude that compel us to turn inward and examine our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. In these quiet moments, we discover that the path to self-awareness is not just a destination, it is a continuous evolution that shapes our identities and experiences. Self-discovery can feel daunting. Many of us are conditioned to seek external validation, measuring our worth against societal standards or the expectations of those around us. We often look to others for approval and affirmation, believing that happiness is found in relationships, careers, or material possessions. However, this reliance on the external world can lead to disappointment and a sense of emptiness when we inevitably confront the limitations of these sources of fulfillment. In solitude, we are presented with an opportunity to shift our focus from the outside world to our inner landscape, where true happiness resides. As we embark on this journey, we learn to cultivate self-compassion and acceptance. The act of being alone allows us to confront our fears and insecurities without the distractions of social obligations. We begin to understand that our imperfections are part of our humanity. In this space, we can practice self-forgiveness and learn to embrace our flaws as integral aspects of our unique identities. This shift in perspective is crucial because it lays the foundation for a more profound understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Exploring our values and passions is another vital aspect of self-discovery. In moments of solitude, we can ask ourselves meaningful questions. What do I truly care about? What activities ignite passion? What dreams have I put on hold? These inquiries prompt us to examine the essence of our being and reveal the motivations that drive us. By engaging with our interests, whether through creative pursuits, hobbies, or intellectual exploration, we begin to uncover aspects of ourselves that may have been hidden under the weight of societal expectations. Self-discovery is an empowering process that fosters resilience. As we learn to navigate our emotions and embrace our authentic selves, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges. Solitude provides the clarity needed to develop coping strategies that resonate with our unique perspectives. We learn to trust our instincts and make decisions aligned with our core values. This newfound resilience becomes a guiding light during difficult times, reminding us that we are capable of overcoming obstacles and growing from our experiences. Mindfulness and presence play significant roles. By cultivating a practice of mindfulness, we become more attuned to our thoughts and feelings. This awareness allows us to observe ourselves without judgment, creating a space for exploration and growth. Engaging in meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature can deepen our connection to the present moment and enhance our self-awareness. These practices help us to pause, breathe, and reflect, facilitating a more profound understanding of our inner selves. The journey of self-discovery is a celebration of individuality. It invites us to embrace our uniqueness and recognize that our paths are not meant to mirror those of others. Instead, we learn to honor our own experiences, dreams, and aspirations, paving the way for a more authentic existence. As we uncover our true selves, we discover that happiness is not a distant goal, but a state of being that arises from within. By embracing solitude as a transformative space for self-discovery, we unlock the door to a richer, more fulfilling life, one where we can thrive in our own company and create a reality that reflects our deepest desires and values. The power of imagination is one of the most profound tools available to us as human beings. It is a gift that allows us to transcend the limitations of our current circumstances and envision new possibilities. Imagination is not merely daydreaming or fantasy, it is a dynamic force that shapes our realities and influences our perceptions, emotions, and actions. When we tap into the power of our imagination, we open the door to creativity, innovation, and personal transformation, enabling us to craft a life that resonates with our deepest desires. At its core, imagination is the ability to visualize scenarios, concepts, and emotions that may not currently exist in our tangible world. This capacity to picture the future, to create vivid mental images, and to explore ideas is what sets us apart as a species. It enables us to dream big, to aspire to greatness, and to overcome challenges. When we imagine, we are not bound by the present. We can explore multiple outcomes and possibilities, creating a mental space where anything can happen. This imaginative process is crucial for personal growth. When we visualize our goals, we engage in a powerful practice that aligns our subconscious mind with our desires. Imagine setting a goal for your career, for instance. By vividly picturing yourself in a specific role, feeling the emotions associated with that achievement, and envisioning the steps you need to take to reach that destination, you effectively program your mind for success. This mental rehearsal prepares you for the challenges ahead, fostering a sense of confidence and determination. The more vividly you can see and feel your desired outcome, the more real it becomes to your subconscious, guiding you to take actions that align with that vision. Imagination serves as a wellspring of creativity. Artists, writers, inventors, and thinkers throughout history have harnessed their imaginative faculties to produce groundbreaking work. The creative process often begins with the ability to envision something that does not yet exist, to conceptualize ideas that challenge the status quo. This creative imagination is not confined to the arts. It extends to all areas of life, including problem-solving in business, innovation in technology, and advancements in science. By allowing ourselves to think freely and explore various possibilities, we cultivate a mindset that embraces creativity and encourages new solutions to emerge. Imagination plays a crucial role in our emotional well-being. When we face difficult times or challenges, our imagination can provide a sanctuary. Through visualization, we can create mental escapes that transport us to peaceful or joyful places. Whether it's imagining a serene beach, a lush forest, or a moment of personal triumph, these mental images can bring comfort and solace in stressful times. By focusing on positive and uplifting scenarios, we can shift our emotional state, fostering resilience and hope. The act of imagining also enhances our ability to empathize with others. When we engage our imagination, we can step into another person's shoes, envisioning their experiences and feelings. This ability to empathize is crucial for building meaningful connections and understanding the diverse perspectives that exist in the world. By imagining the thoughts and emotions of others, we develop compassion and a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the human experience. To harness the power of imagination effectively, we must practice it intentionally. Regularly setting aside time for creative visualization can help strengthen this skill. Techniques such as guided imagery, meditation, or simply engaging in free writing can foster a rich imaginative landscape. As we cultivate our ability to visualize, we become more adept at creating the reality we desire. This practice allows us to clarify our goals, align our intentions, and take inspired actions toward manifesting our dreams. Furthermore, imagination is an invitation to challenge our limiting beliefs. Often we impose boundaries on ourselves based on past experiences or societal expectations. By tapping into our imagination, we can break free from these constraints, envisioning lives that may seem out of reach. This process encourages us to redefine what is possible and to aspire to greater heights. The power of imagination is a remarkable force that shapes our lives in profound ways. It allows us to envision new possibilities, tap into our creativity, enhance our emotional well-being, and cultivate empathy. By embracing and nurturing our imaginative faculties, we can transform our realities and create a life that reflects our deepest desires and aspirations. Imagination is not merely a tool for dreaming, it is a catalyst for action and change, reminding us that we have the power to shape our futures and manifest our greatest visions. Emotional independence is a fundamental aspect of personal growth and well-being, representing the ability to manage one's emotions without relying excessively on others for validation or support. It involves cultivating a strong sense of self that allows individuals to experience their feelings authentically while maintaining a sense of stability and resilience. Achieving emotional independence can be a transformative journey, leading to greater self-awareness, healthier relationships, and a more fulfilling life. At its core, emotional independence begins with self-awareness. To understand our emotions, we must first acknowledge their existence and the underlying reasons for them. This self-awareness empowers us to recognize our triggers, those situations or interactions that evoke strong emotional responses. By becoming attuned to our feelings, we can discern whether they stem from external circumstances, such as the actions of others, or from internal beliefs and perceptions about ourselves. This understanding is crucial because it enables us to take responsibility for our emotions rather than attributing them solely to the behavior of others. Cultivating emotional independence also involves developing coping strategies that help us navigate life's ups and downs. Rather than relying on friends or partners to lift our spirits, we can learn to self-soothe and find comfort within ourselves. This might include practices such as mindfulness meditation or engaging in hobbies that bring us joy. By developing these coping mechanisms, we build emotional resilience, allowing us to face challenges without becoming overwhelmed by feelings of despair or dependence on others for support. The process of self-soothing can be particularly empowering. It encourages us to explore what makes us feel grounded and content, fostering a deeper connection to ourselves. Another critical component of emotional independence is setting boundaries in relationships. It is natural for us to seek support from those we care about, but it is essential to establish healthy boundaries to avoid overdependence. Boundaries help define what is acceptable in our relationships and protect our emotional well-being. By communicating our needs and expectations clearly, we can foster healthier interactions with others while preserving our autonomy. This practice not only reinforces our sense of self, but also encourages others to respect our emotional space, creating a balanced dynamic where both parties can thrive. Furthermore, embracing vulnerability is a key aspect of emotional independence. Many people fear vulnerability, equating it with weakness or inadequacy. However, being open about our feelings and experiences is an essential part of emotional growth. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create authentic connections with others, fostering deeper relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. This openness also helps to dispel the myth that we must always appear strong and composed. Accepting our vulnerabilities allows us to share our authentic selves with the world, enriching our emotional experiences and fostering a sense of community. Self-acceptance is another vital factor in achieving emotional independence. We must learn to embrace our imperfections and recognize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses. This self-acceptance nurtures a positive self-image, allowing us to approach life with a sense of confidence and assurance. When we fully accept ourselves, we are less likely to seek external validation, as our worth is rooted in our understanding of our value as individuals. This shift in mindset can be transformative, liberating us from the constant need for approval from others. Developing a strong sense of purpose can bolster emotional independence. When we are driven by our passions and goals, we cultivate an inner motivation that sustains us through challenges. This sense of purpose acts as a compass, guiding our actions and decisions. By focusing on our personal growth and aspirations, we create a fulfilling life that is not contingent on the opinions or actions of others. This empowerment reinforces our emotional autonomy, as we learn to rely on ourselves to achieve our dreams and navigate life's complexities. In the process of cultivating emotional independence, it is essential to remember that this journey does not mean isolating ourselves from others or dismissing the importance of relationships. Rather, it is about finding a balance where we can connect with others while maintaining our emotional stability. Healthy relationships enrich our lives, providing support and companionship, but they should not be the sole source of our emotional well-being. Emotional independence is a lifelong journey that requires ongoing self-reflection, practice, and patience. It is about embracing the fullness of our experiences, recognizing our emotions as valid while also understanding that we have the power to manage them. So, by cultivating self-awareness, developing coping strategies, setting boundaries, embracing vulnerability, and fostering self-acceptance, we can achieve a profound sense of emotional independence that enhances our overall well-being. This journey empowers us to live authentically, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace, rooted in the understanding that our happiness and fulfillment are ultimately our responsibility. The beauty of solitude is a profound experience that often goes unappreciated in our fast-paced, interconnected world. In a society that glorifies constant engagement and social interaction, solitude is frequently misunderstood as loneliness or isolation. However, embracing solitude can lead to deep personal insights, creative breakthroughs, and a sense of peace that is often elusive in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Learning to find beauty in solitude can transform our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we allow ourselves the space and time to be alone, we create an opportunity for self-reflection. Solitude provides a sanctuary where we can turn inward and engage with our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs without the distractions of external noise. In these quiet moments, we can contemplate our lives, evaluate our choices, and explore our desires and aspirations. This self-reflection is essential for personal growth. It allows us to understand who we are at our core, separate from societal expectations or the influence of others. Through this process, we can identify our strengths and weaknesses, enabling us to cultivate self-awareness and authenticity. Solitude fosters creativity. Many artists, writers, and thinkers have attested to the power of solitude in nurturing their creative processes. When we are alone, we remove the constraints of social judgment and expectation, allowing our imaginations to roam freely. In solitude, we can engage in deep, uninterrupted thinking and exploration of ideas that may otherwise be stifled in social settings. The quiet space allows for new insights to emerge, fostering innovation and artistic expression. Whether through writing, painting, or brainstorming, solitude can serve as a fertile ground for creativity to flourish. The beauty of solitude also lies in its ability to cultivate mindfulness and presence. In a world filled with distractions, taking time to be alone helps us reconnect with the present moment. We can immerse ourselves in our surroundings, whether it be the sound of rustling leaves, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, or the scent of a blooming flower. This connection to the present enhances our appreciation for life's simple pleasures and invites us to experience joy in the here and now. Mindfulness cultivated in solitude fosters a deeper sense of gratitude, reminding us of the richness of our experiences and the beauty that exists in our everyday lives. Solitude can also be a powerful teacher, offering insights into our emotional landscapes. When we are alone, we confront our thoughts and feelings without the filters that social interactions impose. This confrontation can lead to a deeper understanding of our emotional responses and patterns. Rather than suppressing uncomfortable feelings or distractions, solitude encourages us to sit with them, allowing us to process and heal. This emotional exploration is essential for developing resilience and emotional intelligence, equipping us with the tools to navigate life's challenges more effectively. Solitude provides the space for spiritual growth and contemplation. For many, being alone allows for deeper connections to their spirituality or personal beliefs. In the absence of external distractions, we can engage in practices such as meditation, prayer, or simply quiet reflection, fostering a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. This spiritual exploration often leads to profound insights and a more fulfilling sense of purpose, enriching our lives in ways that are often overlooked in the chaos of everyday existence. It's important to recognize that solitude is not synonymous with loneliness. Loneliness often stems from a feeling of disconnection from others, while solitude is a conscious choice to embrace our own company. When we shift our mindset to view solitude as a gift rather than a burden, we begin to appreciate the beauty that comes with it. Learning to enjoy our own company enables us to build a healthy relationship with ourselves, fostering self-love and acceptance. Engaging with solitude intentionally can also improve our relationships with others. When we take the time to understand ourselves and our needs, we become better equipped to connect with others meaningfully. Solitude allows us to recharge emotionally, so when we do engage with the world, we do so from a place of authenticity and strength. This renewed energy enhances our interactions, allowing us to contribute positively to our relationships. The beauty of solitude lies in its ability to provide clarity, creativity, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. It is an invitation to explore our inner landscapes, cultivate mindfulness, and nurture our emotional and spiritual growth. In a society that often prioritizes constant connection, embracing solitude can be a radical act of self-care. By recognizing the value of being alone, we can cultivate a richer, more fulfilling life that celebrates the beauty of our own company and the endless possibilities that arise from within. Embracing solitude is not about retreating from the world, it is about finding strength, clarity, and joy in the stillness, allowing us to engage with life more fully and authentically. Affirmations and beliefs are powerful tools that shape our perceptions, influence our emotions, and ultimately dictate our actions. At their core, affirmations are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves, while beliefs are the deeply held convictions that guide our thoughts and behaviors. Together, these two elements create a framework that can either empower us or hinder our growth, depending on how we choose to use them. Understanding the relationship between affirmations and beliefs can unlock a transformative path toward personal development and fulfillment. Affirmations serve as a means of reinforcing positive thoughts and counteracting negative self-talk. Often, our inner dialogue can be filled with doubt, criticism, and limiting beliefs that hold us back from reaching our potential. For instance, we might tell ourselves that we are not good enough, that we will never succeed, or that we are unworthy of love and happiness. Such negative affirmations can create a cycle of self-sabotage, leading to feelings of inadequacy and despair. In contrast, using positive affirmations allows us to challenge these harmful narratives. By consciously choosing to speak kindly to ourselves and affirming our worth, we begin to reshape our internal dialogue. The process of using affirmations involves more than mere repetition. It requires intention and belief. For affirmations to be effective, they must resonate with our core values and aspirations. This means selecting statements that genuinely reflect what we desire to embody. For example, rather than simply repeating "I am successful," a more resonant affirmation might be "I am capable and deserving of achieving my goals." This subtle shift creates a deeper connection to the affirmation, making it more impactful. Affirmations can serve as a catalyst for changing our beliefs. Our beliefs are often formed through past experiences, societal influences, and conditioning. They act as filters through which we interpret our experiences and interactions. However, many of these beliefs can be limiting, preventing us from pursuing our dreams or exploring new opportunities. By consistently practicing affirmations, we can gradually shift our beliefs to align with our true potential. This process is not instantaneous, it requires patience and dedication. However, over time, affirmations can help to dissolve limiting beliefs, replacing them with empowering ones. The power of affirmations is particularly evident in the context of goal setting. When we set ambitious goals, it is common to encounter self-doubt and fear. Affirmations act as a supportive mechanism during this journey. By affirming our abilities and commitment to our goals, we cultivate a mindset that is resilient and focused. For instance, someone aiming to start a new business might use affirmations like "I have the skills and resources to create a successful venture," or "I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth." These statements not only boost confidence, but also reinforce a proactive approach to overcoming obstacles. Another significant aspect of affirmations is their role in fostering self-love and acceptance. In a world that often emphasizes external validation, it can be challenging to develop a healthy sense of self-worth. Affirmations encourage us to recognize our intrinsic value, irrespective of our accomplishments or others' opinions. When we consistently affirm our worthiness, we begin to cultivate a loving relationship with ourselves. This self-love forms a solid foundation for resilience, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. It is essential to recognize that affirmations alone are not a panacea. They should be accompanied by action and self-reflection. While affirmations can change our mindset, they must be supported by behaviors that align with our new beliefs. For example, if someone affirms that they are capable of public speaking, they must also take steps to practice and develop that skill. This alignment between thought and action is crucial for creating lasting change and reinforcing the new beliefs we seek to cultivate. The impact of affirmations extends beyond the individual. When we adopt positive beliefs and affirmations, we influence our interactions with others. A person who believes in their own worth is more likely to treat others with kindness and respect. This positive energy creates a ripple effect, fostering supportive relationships and environments. By embodying empowering beliefs, we contribute to a collective atmosphere of positivity and growth. Affirmations and beliefs are integral components of our personal development journey. By consciously choosing positive affirmations, we can reshape our internal dialogue, challenge limiting beliefs, and cultivate self-love and acceptance. This transformative process empowers us to pursue our goals with confidence and resilience. However, it is crucial to complement affirmations with action and self-reflection to create lasting change. As we embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth, we must remember that our beliefs shape our reality. By embracing the power of affirmations, we unlock the potential within ourselves to live authentically and fully. In doing so, we create a life that resonates with our deepest values and aspirations, leading to greater fulfillment and joy.
Cultivating a rich inner life is a journey that invites individuals to explore the depths of their thoughts, emotions, and imagination. In a world that often prioritizes external achievements and societal validation, developing a vibrant inner world can provide a profound sense of fulfillment and meaning. A rich inner life fosters creativity, self-awareness, and emotional resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and authenticity. This journey requires intentional practice and mindfulness, allowing us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. At the heart of a rich inner life lies self-reflection. Taking the time to engage in introspection allows us to examine our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This practice fosters self-awareness, helping us understand our motivations, desires, and fears. Self-reflection can take many forms, including journaling, meditation, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation. By dedicating time to these practices, we create a space where we can explore our inner landscapes without distraction. This exploration reveals patterns in our thinking, unearths hidden beliefs, and enables us to confront unresolved emotions. As we delve deeper into our inner selves, we gain clarity about who we are and what truly matters to us. Imagination plays a crucial role in enriching our inner lives. Engaging our imaginations allows us to envision possibilities beyond our current circumstances, opening the door to creativity and innovation. This imaginative capacity is not limited to artistic pursuits. It permeates all aspects of life. By allowing ourselves to dream and envision new experiences, we cultivate a mindset that embraces exploration and adventure. This imaginative process can lead to new ideas, solutions to problems, and even a fresh perspective on challenges we face. The act of daydreaming or visualizing our ideal lives can serve as a powerful motivator, encouraging us to take action toward our goals. And the essential element of a rich inner life is emotional literacy, the ability to recognize, understand, and express our emotions effectively. By cultivating emotional awareness, we create a deeper connection to ourselves and our experiences. This involves acknowledging our feelings without judgment, whether they are positive or negative. Embracing the full spectrum of our emotions allows us to process them healthily and constructively. This practice enhances our emotional resilience, enabling us to respond to life's challenges with greater adaptability. Furthermore, when we understand our emotions, we can communicate them more effectively in our relationships, fostering deeper connections with others. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in the cultivation of a rich inner life. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to remain present in the moment, fully engaging with our thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our inner experiences with curiosity rather than judgment. This non-reactive awareness helps us develop a greater understanding of our thought patterns and emotional responses, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Through mindfulness, we cultivate a sense of peace and grounding, which enriches our inner lives and enhances our overall well-being. A rich inner life is nourished by continuous learning and personal growth. Engaging with literature, philosophy, art, and diverse perspectives broadens our understanding of the world and ourselves. Exploring new ideas and concepts can stimulate our curiosity and inspire us to think critically about our beliefs and values. This intellectual exploration nurtures our inner lives by encouraging us to question assumptions and seek deeper truths. Embracing lifelong learning fosters an attitude of growth, helping us adapt to change and approach life with an open mind. Connecting with nature is another vital aspect of cultivating a rich inner life. Spending time outdoors can be incredibly grounding and restorative. Nature invites us to pause, reflect, and connect with the world around us, whether it's taking a walk in the woods, sitting by a river, or simply enjoying the beauty of a sunset. These experiences can spark inspiration and wonder. Nature encourages us to embrace stillness and simplicity, providing a counterbalance to the noise and distractions of modern life. This connection to the natural world fosters a sense of belonging and reminds us of the interconnectedness of all living things. Cultivating a rich inner life encourages us to embrace solitude. In solitude, we find the space to connect with our thoughts and emotions deeply. Rather than fearing solitude, we can learn to appreciate it as a time for self-discovery and growth. Solitude offers us the opportunity to recharge, reflect, and engage in creative pursuits without external distractions. By embracing our own company, we can cultivate self-acceptance and build a strong foundation for our inner lives. Cultivating a rich inner life is an enriching journey that invites self-discovery, creativity, and emotional resilience. Through self-reflection, imagination, emotional literacy, mindfulness, continuous learning, connection with nature, and the embrace of solitude, we can create a vibrant inner world that nourishes our spirit. In a society that often prioritizes external validation, nurturing our inner lives allows us to find fulfillment and meaning beyond the surface. By investing in our inner landscapes, we equip ourselves to navigate life with authenticity and grace, ultimately leading to a more profound sense of connection to ourselves and the world around us. This journey toward cultivating a rich inner life is a lifelong process, one that continually evolves and deepens, revealing the beauty and complexity of the human experience. In conclusion, cultivating a rich inner life is a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and resilience that transforms not only our relationship with ourselves, but with the world around us. Through mindful self-reflection, imaginative thinking, emotional awareness, and embracing solitude, we can uncover a wellspring of inner peace and fulfillment that doesn't depend on external circumstances. By connecting with nature, nurturing our curiosity, and welcoming growth, we create an authentic and meaningful life, grounded in who we truly are. Let us embrace the beauty of this inner journey, remembering that the deepest joys often arise from within. Thank you for being open to this exploration. May this inspire you to nurture your inner world, enriching each moment of your life. Thank you.
It is time to step back, to quietly close the door on the noise of the world and retreat into your own presence. In a world that constantly pulls at you, that demands your time, your energy, and your spirit, there is a rare strength in choosing silence. Not silence out of bitterness or anger, but a silence that says, I am more than what is seen, more than what you could possibly imagine. Often we find ourselves bound by invisible threads, threads woven by the people around us and the beliefs we adopt from the world. Each person we meet, every relationship we form, and each opinion that passes through our minds creates these threads, tying us to perceptions that may not truly belong to us. We live our lives responding to the demands and expectations of others, adapting to their perspectives, bending to their judgments, until the weight of these threads pulls us down. In doing so, we forget that our life is not meant to be a mirror of someone else's journey. Each person's purpose, growth, and journey is unique, and to live fully, one must release these threads. To truly rise, to elevate beyond the limits of others' judgments, we must release. But releasing does not mean abandoning. It is not an act of rejecting the world around us, but of finding freedom within it. Releasing is a quiet, internal action, a letting go of what we were never meant to carry. We must let go of the need for approval, the weight of opinions, the desire for validation, and the tendency to adjust ourselves to meet the expectations of others. For many, this process seems daunting, even selfish, but in reality, it is the most liberating and compassionate thing we can do for ourselves and for those around us. When we release, we reclaim our authentic selves. The burdens of external validation vanish, allowing us to step into the boundless freedom of being who we truly are. There is no person, no opinion, and no expectation more powerful than your inner knowing, the voice within that gently guides you toward a life filled with meaning and joy. And as you release the weight of others' expectations, you begin to rise naturally, effortlessly. This inner release creates a lightness, a buoyancy that allows you to transcend the boundaries you once thought unbreakable. As you rise, you'll find a heightened perspective that changes your view on life. Relationships take on a new depth because they are no longer based on need or approval, but on mutual respect and true connection. Each interaction becomes a choice rather than an obligation, and every person in your life has a purpose, aligning naturally with the person you are becoming. You no longer feel the need to impress, to mold yourself, or to carry weight that was never yours to bear. Instead, you rise with ease, lifted by the power of your own authentic self. To release and rise is an invitation to live a life of integrity, a life where you are grounded in your truth. This act of release is an opening, an expansion that invites greater abundance, joy, and alignment into your life. Your energy, once dispersed in meeting the demands of the world, is now concentrated, focused, and potent. In this new state, you become the architect of your experience, the creator of a reality that reflects the innermost desires of your heart. Rising requires courage, but the rewards are beyond measure. As you release, you create space within, space for transformation, for growth, and for a life that's a true expression of your soul. The journey may be solitary at times, but it leads to a place of connection more profound than any external validation. This is the beauty of releasing, the freedom to rise without restraint, anchored in the truth of who you are. In a world buzzing with voices, demands, and distractions, silence is often overlooked. It's seen as empty, void, or a lack of engagement. But silence, when embraced fully, holds a profound strength, a force that transcends words and external validation. True silence is not merely the absence of sound or action, it is the presence of self-awareness, of focus, and an undisturbed alignment with one's own inner voice. It allows us to step away from the chaos of the outer world and enter a realm of inner clarity and power. Silence is where we return to ourselves, where we reconnect with the core of our being. When we engage in constant conversation, explanations, and validations, we are constantly externalizing our energy, seeking feedback from others, and scattering our attention. Silence calls us to pull back that energy, to focus it inward, and to listen. In this space of stillness, we discover the wealth of wisdom and insight that resides within us, waiting to be uncovered. The wisdom that comes through silence is not one taught by others, it is a knowing that emerges naturally when we give ourselves the time to simply be. When we stop speaking for the sake of filling the silence, we begin to hear what is actually needed to move forward with intention. Silence gives birth to perspective, to an awareness of what truly matters and what is merely noise. In our quietude, we become the observer of our own lives, and we begin to see with clarity the motivations, desires, and fears that drive us. We can assess our lives without the pressure to respond, justify, or act out of alignment with our truth. This is where silence becomes a true strength, where the power of restraint grants us the patience to choose our responses wisely and live authentically. We cultivate self-control, an attribute often forgotten in the frenzy of modern life. We learn to master our impulses, our emotions, and our need for immediate gratification. It is in the quiet moments that we build resilience and fortitude, qualities that allow us to withstand life's inevitable challenges with grace. Instead of reacting, silence teaches us to pause, to reflect, and to respond from a place of inner knowing. This grounded response is far more impactful than any hurried reaction, as it stems from a well of inner peace, rather than fleeting emotions or external pressure. Silence is not passive, it is deeply active. In this quiet space, we conserve our energy, directing it toward the intentions and dreams that matter to us. We begin to radiate a calm, magnetic presence that attracts the right opportunities and relationships without the need for constant self-promotion. Those who witness this strength may not understand it fully, but they will sense the authenticity and peace that emanates from within. In silence, we are not seeking approval, nor are we driven by the need to prove ourselves. We are simply aligned with our truth. The strength of silence lies in its subtlety. It demands nothing but offers everything, inviting us to live with integrity, to stand firm in our beliefs, and to lead with the quiet assurance that only those who have known stillness can embody. Silence is, in many ways, the ultimate power, as it allows us to act from a place of certainty, rooted in our own unique purpose. When we embrace silence, we discover a strength that words could never convey, a strength that transforms our lives from within. In a world overflowing with stimuli, distractions are an ever-present force, pulling us away from our true purpose and scattering our attention in countless directions. Yet, beneath the pull of external noise and constant demands lies a quiet power, detachment from distraction. This detachment does not mean withdrawing from life or its richness. Instead, it means cultivating a focus so strong that external influences no longer have the power to sway us from what matters most. When we master this art, we create a space within where clarity, purpose, and intention can thrive, untouched by the chaos of the outside world. The allure of distraction is often subtle. It comes in the form of endless notifications, the latest trends, and the urgent demands of others. These distractions do not always seem harmful, some even appear enjoyable, offering temporary relief or excitement. Yet over time, they fragment our energy, creating a mind that is scattered and unable to sustain deep thought or concentrated action. True detachment is the conscious decision to rise above these distractions, to recognize them for what they are: temporary diversions that drain our energy and dilute our focus. Detachment from distraction begins with awareness. We must first acknowledge the forces that vie for our attention and recognize the impact they have on our well-being, productivity, and inner peace. This awareness allows us to make deliberate choices about where we direct our attention and how we spend our time. When we choose to detach, we are not ignoring or repressing these distractions. We are simply observing them without allowing them to command our focus. This form of detachment builds a mental resilience that protects our inner world from being infiltrated by every passing whim or fleeting trend. With each distraction we release, we reclaim a portion of our energy, which can then be directed toward pursuits that align with our highest values and aspirations. In this space, we find that our creative potential is heightened, our decision-making becomes sharper, and our ability to pursue our goals intensifies. By removing the clutter from our lives, we gain the freedom to dive deeply into the things that truly matter, cultivating a life of depth rather than a life of surface-level stimulation. As we detach from distraction, we also open ourselves to a greater sense of inner peace. No longer controlled by external forces, we find stability within. The world around us may continue to swirl with activity and noise, but we become grounded, rooted in a clarity that transcends the superficial. This peace allows us to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace, rather than reacting impulsively to every shift in our environment. Our relationships improve as we bring our full presence to them, and our sense of self strengthens as we discover who we are beyond the roles, labels, and expectations society places upon us. Detachment from distraction is not a one-time act, but a daily practice, an ongoing commitment to live with intentionality. Each time we choose to focus on what truly matters, we strengthen our capacity to resist the pull of trivial distractions. This practice fosters a profound self-mastery, a sense of control over our own mind and destiny. In this state, we are no longer swept away by the ebb and flow of external events. Instead, we become the architects of our experience, free to create a life that aligns with our vision. The true power of detachment lies in the freedom it brings, the freedom to live deeply, authentically, and with a purpose that is uniquely our own. This is the gift of choosing our focus, of rejecting the superficial in favor of the profound, and of embracing a life rooted in clarity and intention. Is our most valuable resource, yet it's often squandered without consideration on trivial matters and unfulfilling pursuits. Every thought, interaction, and task requires energy, and once spent, that energy is not easily replenished. The concept of energy conservation, then, is not only about managing physical resources, but also about managing our own mental, emotional, and spiritual energy with purpose. To conserve energy effectively is to cultivate a life of intentionality, focusing on what truly nurtures our growth, aligns with our values, and serves our highest aspirations. In modern society, distractions are abundant and energy drains are everywhere. We constantly face demands on our attention from social media, endless emails, superficial relationships, and even our own habitual thoughts. Each interaction or engagement, whether online or in person, draws from our reservoir of energy, often leaving us feeling drained and lacking the vitality needed for our most meaningful endeavors. Recognizing these energy leaks is the first step toward conservation. When we understand where our energy is going, we can make more conscious choices, choosing only those engagements that elevate our spirit rather than deplete it. To conserve energy, it is essential to develop a mindset of discernment, to become aware of the situations and people that energize us versus those that drain us. This often requires setting boundaries, a practice that can be difficult but transformative. By setting firm limits on where we place our focus and who we allow into our inner circle, we create an environment that supports our well-being. This means learning to say no without guilt, recognizing that each yes to something external is a no to something within. When we prioritize ourselves in this way, we protect our mental and emotional reserves, ensuring we have the strength and resilience for what truly matters. Energy conservation is not just about reducing engagement, it's about increasing focus on activities that genuinely replenish us. Meditation, time in nature, creativity, and genuine connection with loved ones are all examples of activities that restore our energy rather than consume it. These are moments of alignment where we connect with our inner purpose, and they provide nourishment for the mind, body, and soul. By consciously making time for these practices, we build an internal reservoir of energy that can sustain us through life's challenges. In this process, it's crucial to cultivate a habit of self-reflection, tuning into our inner needs rather than external pressures. By listening to our own rhythms, we become attuned to when we need rest, solitude, or quiet moments of contemplation. Ignoring these needs leads to burnout, as the constant expenditure of energy without restoration drains our ability to function effectively. Honoring our natural cycles allows us to create a sustainable pace, where our energy is renewed rather than depleted. Conserving energy is an act of self-love, a commitment to prioritize our own well-being so that we may live from a place of fullness rather than lack. When we conserve our energy, we are able to show up more fully in our relationships, in our work, and in our own personal journey. In this state, we become powerful, clear, and intentional, capable of manifesting a life that reflects our true essence and contributes positively to the world. By valuing our energy, we honor ourselves, and in doing so, we create a life of depth, resilience, and profound inner peace. Aligning with one's inner vision is an art of tuning into the core of who we are and allowing that understanding to guide our choices, actions, and perceptions. In a world that often emphasizes external achievement and societal standards, it can be challenging to remain connected to this inner vision. But when we do, life begins to unfold with clarity and purpose, creating a powerful alignment between our deepest desires and our lived reality. This alignment requires self-awareness, commitment, and the courage to trust that what we envision within has the potential to become our external reality. Our inner vision is a unique blend of our values, dreams, and the authentic expressions of our soul. Often it whispers quietly beneath the noise of daily life, waiting for us to pause, listen, and acknowledge its presence. Unlike fleeting desires, our inner vision doesn't waver with trends or circumstances. It holds steady, reflecting our truest intentions and goals. To align with this vision, we must first cultivate the habit of stillness and introspection, giving ourselves space to hear the voice within. Practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in solitude can help us tune in to what our intuition is revealing. Once we connect to this vision, the next step is commitment. Aligning with our inner vision isn't just a matter of feeling inspired. It's a practice of staying dedicated to our values and long-term goals, even when the path becomes difficult or unclear. This commitment often requires us to let go of attachments to external validation, approval, or conventional definitions of success. Instead, we learn to measure our progress by how deeply our actions resonate with our inner truth. We become less influenced by outside opinions, and we start to trust in our own guidance, recognizing that our path is unique and doesn't need to conform to others' expectations. As we align with this vision, our decisions naturally shift. Our priorities become clearer, and we begin to gravitate toward activities, people, and environments that support our inner purpose. In this process, obstacles transform from roadblocks into opportunities for growth, as they prompt us to refine our vision further and make necessary adjustments. We develop resilience and focus because our motivation is now anchored in something much deeper than superficial rewards. By following this path, we feel a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that we are honoring our true self. This alignment also opens us to synchronicities, moments where life seems to offer unexpected support or guidance, often when we least expect it. These moments are not coincidences, but rather indications that we are in harmony with the energy of our vision. When we commit to our inner path, life responds, bringing people, resources, and opportunities that propel us forward. Each small alignment reinforces our trust in this process, helping us see that the universe mirrors our inner intentions. Aligning with inner vision is ultimately a journey of self-empowerment. It allows us to step away from a reactive existence, where we are constantly adapting to external circumstances, and instead live from a place of purpose and intentionality. By grounding ourselves in our inner truth, we become the creators of our own experience, actively shaping a reality that reflects who we are at our core. This is a powerful place to be, a life where each action, each thought, and each connection resonates with our most profound aspirations. It is a way of living that brings. Mystery holds an inherent power, an allure that pulls us toward the unknown with a sense of awe and wonder. In a world that often strives to explain, categorize, and define every element of life, mystery remains an enchanting invitation to go beyond what we know, to explore the vastness that lies beyond the reach of our current understanding. Rather than something to be feared or eliminated, mystery is a vital force that ignites curiosity, fuels imagination, and keeps life dynamic and full of potential. Mystery compels us to embrace life's uncertainties. There is a deep beauty in not having all the answers, for it humbles us, reminding us of our own limitations and encouraging us to expand. It teaches us to live with openness, a willingness to receive experiences without the need for complete understanding. Mystery is what breathes life into possibility, allowing us to imagine outcomes beyond our logical grasp and to pursue dreams that defy conventional limits. In this way, mystery fosters growth, nudging us toward the unknown with a sense of adventure rather than a need for security. When we lean into mystery, we also deepen our sense of wonder. Too often, as adults, we lose the childlike fascination with the world, the joy of being surprised or captivated by something new. Embracing mystery rekindles this sense of awe, allowing us to see life with fresh eyes and an open heart. It shifts our perspective, transforming ordinary moments into portals to the extraordinary. The sunrise, a stranger's smile, the complexities of human connection, all become richer and more meaningful when we approach them with the knowledge that there is more beyond what meets the eye. Mystery teaches us patience and acceptance. Not every aspect of life is meant to be understood or controlled, and sometimes the answers we seek unfold only when we allow them the time and space to reveal themselves. In a culture that often demands immediate results and instant gratification, mystery encourages us to slow down, to linger in the beauty of the unknown, and to trust that life has its own rhythm. This patience is a form of surrender, an acknowledgement that there is a greater intelligence at play, and that some mysteries are meant to remain untouched. The power of mystery also lies in its ability to deepen connection both to ourselves and to others. In relationships, for instance, mystery keeps us intrigued and attentive, recognizing that there are always layers to a person's essence that remain hidden and waiting to be discovered. We begin to appreciate that true intimacy does not come from fully knowing another, but from an ongoing curiosity and reverence for their complexity. Likewise, mystery within ourselves, the depths of our emotions, dreams, and untapped potential keeps us engaged with our own journey of self-discovery. Mystery enriches life by allowing us to move beyond rigid boundaries, expanding our awareness and opening us to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. It invites us to embrace the questions, to welcome uncertainty, and to celebrate the unknown with a sense of reverence. By surrendering to mystery, we step into a profound trust in life's unfolding, allowing its wonder to shape our experiences and bring meaning to our journey. Through mystery, we glimpse the vastness of existence and are reminded that there is always more to explore, more to learn, and more to become. In embracing the power of mystery, we step into a world where life remains vibrant, full of potential, and endlessly rich in meaning. By allowing ourselves to be guided by curiosity rather than certainty, we welcome the beauty of the unknown and the thrill of exploration. This openness brings us closer to our true selves, deepens our connections with others, and enriches each experience with wonder. So let us continue to trust life's unfolding, honoring its mysteries with gratitude and reverence. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unseen. You are untouched by the noise of the world. There is a sacred power in your silence, a sanctuary where your true self resides unshaken. When you choose to be silent and act as if nothing bothers you, you become a magnet of calm strength, radiating certainty without the need for words or validation. Inner stillness is the quiet, unshakable foundation that lies beneath all true strength. It is the source of our deepest clarity and a wellspring of peace that requires no external validation. Many believe that power is shown in loud, overt actions or in the ability to exert control over others. Yet true power is found not in the noise of force, but in the calm assurance that comes from inner stillness. When we cultivate this stillness, we cultivate a strength that is impenetrable, grounded in the calm knowledge that no external event or person has the power to disturb the peace that lives within us. Inner stillness requires a letting go of the incessant need to react, to prove, or to defend ourselves against the challenges we face. Rather than responding to every disruption in our lives, we learn to observe it, allowing it to pass without clinging to it emotionally. This ability to observe, to watch life unfold without becoming entangled in every twist and turn, gives us a tremendous power. We become less affected by the temporary and more in touch with the eternal, with that part of ourselves that is untouched by time, by opinions, or by fleeting events. This power of inner stillness is especially evident when we encounter situations that, in the past, might have thrown us off balance. Perhaps in the past we would have reacted quickly, allowing anger or frustration to take hold and control our actions. But as we develop our inner stillness, we find ourselves responding with patience, compassion, and understanding. We recognize that we are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or the moods of others. Instead, we are empowered to choose how we respond from a place of calm. This ability to respond rather than react is one of the most profound gifts of inner stillness. It allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise, remaining true to ourselves regardless of what we face. One of the great benefits of inner stillness is clarity. When the mind is filled with constant noise and distraction, it is difficult to see things as they truly are. Our judgment is clouded, our vision obscured by our worries, fears, and desires. But in moments of stillness, when the mind is calm and quiet, clarity arises naturally. We are able to see situations more objectively, free from the biases and emotions that usually color our perceptions. In this state of clarity, decisions become easier, as we are no longer swayed by fleeting thoughts or impulsive reactions. We begin to see the path ahead with a sense of confidence and direction, knowing that our actions are rooted in truth rather than temporary emotions. Inner stillness cultivates a profound sense of connection both with ourselves and with the world around us. When we are constantly busy, caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts and activities, we become disconnected from our true essence. But in moments of stillness, we are able to reconnect with the deeper part of ourselves, the part that is not defined by our roles, achievements, or possessions. We come to understand that our worth does not depend on what we do or what we have, but on who we are at our core. This realization brings a deep sense of peace and contentment, a knowing that we are whole and complete just as we are. In this state of connection, we also begin to feel more attuned to others. We are able to listen more deeply, to understand others without judgment, and to respond with greater empathy and compassion. This is because inner stillness quiets the ego, that part of us that is constantly focused on me and mine. As the ego quiets, we are able to see beyond our own needs and desires, opening ourselves up to a greater sense of unity with others. We realize that we are not separate from those around us, but are part of a larger, interconnected whole. This awareness brings with it a sense of harmony and belonging, a feeling that we are never truly alone. Inner stillness is about finding freedom from the limitations of our own minds, from the endless cycle of wants and fears, from the need for approval or validation. It is a freedom that comes from knowing that we are enough, just as we are. When we are rooted in this stillness, we are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or by the changing tides of circumstance. We become like the deep ocean, calm and unshaken, even as waves crash on the surface. In this stillness, we find our true power, a power that is not dependent on anything outside of us, a power that is ours unconditionally. And in this power, we find peace. With unshakable confidence, you stop looking outside of yourself for guidance or approval. You trust in your intuition, knowing that the answers you seek are within. This kind of self-trust is invaluable, as it allows you to move with purpose and clarity. You no longer waste energy trying to fit into others' expectations, for you understand that real confidence is not about conforming but about expressing your true self. When you embody unshakable confidence, you give yourself the freedom to be who you are without apology or hesitation. You are no longer bound by the fear of judgment or rejection, because your sense of self-worth does not depend on anyone else's perception of you. This confidence also grants you resilience, an ability to withstand criticism and adversity without losing sight of who you are. Life will always present challenges, and there will be moments when others doubt or misunderstand you. Yet with unshakable confidence, you are able to stand firm, knowing that your worth is not defined by others' opinions or by the inevitable ups and downs of life. Criticism, setbacks, and even failures become learning experiences rather than threats to your self-worth. You are able to absorb these experiences, learn from them, and continue moving forward without feeling diminished. The beauty of embodying unshakable confidence is that it is contagious. Those around you can sense it, even if they cannot name it. This confidence creates an aura of calm and assurance that draws people to you and inspires them to trust in their own abilities. Others may look to you as a source of strength, not because you seek their admiration, but because your confidence naturally exudes a sense of reliability and trustworthiness. This impact you have on others is an inevitable byproduct of your self-assured nature, a gift that you give without effort simply by being who you are. Confidence, when truly embodied, also opens doors in ways that would not be possible otherwise. Opportunities come to you not only because of what you can do, but because of who you are. People sense your belief in yourself, and it inspires them to believe in you as well. This confidence becomes a magnet, attracting experiences, connections, and possibilities that align with your inner strength and purpose. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace and to approach opportunities with openness, unburdened by self-doubt. In embodying unshakable confidence, you become fully aligned with your purpose and potential. You recognize that you are worthy of every good thing that comes to you, and you are no longer held back by limiting beliefs or insecurities. You understand that confidence is not a finite quality that can be lost or taken away, but is an intrinsic part of who you are. This confidence is ever present, waiting for you to acknowledge and embrace it. When you live from this place of unshakable confidence, you experience a profound sense of freedom. You are no longer limited by fear or by the need to control every outcome. You are able to move through life with a sense of ease, knowing that no matter what happens, you will be okay. This is the essence of true confidence, not a reliance on circumstances or achievements, but a deep-seated trust in yourself. It is a quiet, steady presence that supports you in every moment, allowing you to live fully, authentically, and courageously. To embody unshakable confidence is to reclaim your power, to recognize that you are the creator of your life, and to move forward with a certainty that is unyielding. It is a choice to see yourself through the lens of possibility rather than limitation, to trust in your ability to rise to any occasion, and to know that, at your core, you are strong, capable, and worthy beyond measure. This confidence is not something to be performed but to be lived. It is an expression of the highest truth of who you are, whole, complete, and fully capable of navigating all that life brings. Shifting your identity, not your environment, is a powerful approach to creating lasting transformation. Often, when faced with challenges or dissatisfaction, we instinctively look to change our external circumstances, our job, relationships, location, or possessions, hoping that altering these will bring the fulfillment we seek. However, true change starts from within, by shifting who we believe ourselves to be. This shift in identity is not about superficial changes. It is about altering the core beliefs and assumptions we hold about ourselves and what is possible for us. When we change our identity, our environment naturally begins to shift in response, aligning with our new sense of self. Our identity shapes our thoughts, decisions, and actions, often unconsciously dictating what we think we deserve, how we interpret experiences, and the possibilities we are willing to consider. If we hold an identity that is rooted in limitations or scarcity, no amount of external change will fully address the root of our dissatisfaction. For instance, a person who sees themselves as unworthy may attract relationships or situations that reinforce this belief, no matter where they go. However, when they begin to view themselves as deserving of respect and love, the relationships they attract, and even the way they experience the world, transform without the need to alter external conditions. When we shift our identity, we redefine our relationship with ourselves and with life. We start to see opportunities where there were once limitations, solutions where there were once problems. Rather than approaching life as something to be battled or struggled through, we begin to approach it as a field of possibility that reflects our inner state. For example, someone who shifts from seeing themselves as a passive participant in life to a creator of their own reality finds empowerment. Suddenly, they are no longer waiting for circumstances to change. They are actively shaping their experiences based on their new self-perception. When our identity aligns with our desires, change occurs effortlessly. For example, someone who sees themselves as a disciplined, healthy individual will naturally make choices that support well-being. They do not need to force themselves into new habits because their behavior is a natural extension of their self-concept. On the other hand, A person who attempts to make changes without shifting their identity often struggles because their actions conflict with their self-image. Shifting identity creates a sustainable foundation for change because it addresses the root cause, the way we see ourselves and our potential. As we embody this new identity, our environment responds in kind. The opportunities, relationships, and circumstances that once aligned with our former self naturally fade away, while those that resonate with our new identity appear. This alignment is not the result of chance, but of resonance. Our environment reflects our beliefs, expectations, and sense of self. When we view ourselves as empowered, opportunities for growth and abundance become visible, and we attract experiences that affirm our new identity. This is why it is often said that like attracts like, when we shift internally, our outer world reflects these internal changes. The power of shifting identity lies in its ability to create lasting transformation. Changing our environment without addressing our identity is like rearranging furniture in a room where the walls remain the same. Eventually, the environment returns to its previous state, reflecting our unaltered beliefs and self-perceptions. But when we shift who we are at our core, we transform the walls themselves, so to speak, creating an entirely new foundation upon which our environment naturally reshapes itself. This internal shift creates a ripple effect, influencing every aspect of our lives in ways that are often subtle yet profound. Embracing a new identity also requires patience and self-compassion. The process is gradual, as deeply ingrained beliefs and habits take time to transform. There will be moments of doubt and resistance, times when the old identity seems to pull us back. However, by gently returning to our chosen identity, reaffirming our new sense of self, and envisioning the life that aligns with it, we gradually dissolve the power of the old and strengthen the new. Over time, this shift becomes second nature, and the new identity feels as natural as breathing. Shifting our identity, rather than our environment, gives us lasting empowerment. We realize that we are not at the mercy of external conditions, but are capable of creating a life that reflects our true aspirations and values. By aligning with a sense of self that is grounded in confidence, abundance, and self-worth, we allow the world to mirror back the potential we hold within. This journey of shifting identity is transformative, allowing us to step into a life that truly resonates with who we are at our highest level. The outer environment becomes a reflection, not the source, of our fulfillment and natural extension of the inner growth that begins by shifting the way we see ourselves. The silence of true belief is a profound, quiet assurance that does not seek recognition, validation, or constant reaffirmation. It is a knowing that runs so deeply within you that it requires no outward expression to be real. When you possess true belief, there is no need to convince others, for the belief itself is enough. This silence is not a withholding, but rather a serene confidence that speaks through actions rather than words, an unspoken declaration that is present in how you move through the world. True belief holds an energy of its own, so powerful and self-contained that it naturally attracts the circumstances, people, and events that align with it. In a world that often encourages us to be loud, to proclaim our desires and prove our worth, the silence of true belief may seem almost radical. Yet, it is this very quietness that makes it so powerful. The power lies in the depth of certainty that comes from within, the unshakable trust that whatever you believe in is already yours, that your vision will come to pass in its own time. There is no rush, no need to shout it from the rooftops, because true belief exists independently of external validation. When you hold a silent, steadfast belief, you live as though your desired reality has already unfolded, unbothered by appearances that may suggest otherwise. True belief is an embodiment. It is the difference between hoping for something and knowing it is yours. It moves beyond mere optimism or positive thinking, diving into the realm of inner conviction. This conviction is not born out of evidence or logical proof, but from a deep sense of connection to the truth of your own desires. When you believe in something truly, it is not a mental exercise but a state of being. You carry yourself as though the outcome is inevitable, as if you are simply waiting for time to catch up to your inner reality. In this state, doubts and fears lose their power because you are rooted in a foundation that transcends temporary uncertainties. The silence of true belief also means that you are not swayed by others' opinions or influenced by the ups and downs of circumstances. You do not feel the need to explain or defend your beliefs, because you know that they are valid regardless of what anyone else may think. Others may question you, doubt you, or even discourage you, but when you are grounded in true belief, these external voices have little effect. They cannot shake what is deeply ingrained within you. The silence of true belief is like an anchor, keeping you steady even when the waters of life become turbulent. You remain unmoved, secure in the knowledge that what you hold within is real. This silence does not mean passivity. On the contrary, true belief is incredibly active in a subtle, invisible way. When you embody true belief, you naturally take actions that align with this belief, often without conscious effort. These actions are not forced or planned, but arise from the state of being that true belief creates within you. You begin to operate from a place of ease, taking steps that resonate with the reality you know to be true. This alignment between belief and action creates a flow, where things begin to unfold seemingly effortlessly, not because you are pushing or striving, but because your actions stem from a place of quiet conviction. In the silence of true belief, you understand that there is no need to struggle or chase. The belief itself is magnetic. It draws to you the people, opportunities, and resources needed to bring your vision to life. When you hold true belief, you are not in a state of wanting or lacking, but of having and being. You recognize that everything you need is already within reach, and so you move with a calm assurance, knowing that what is meant for you will come to you at the perfect time. This patience is not passive waiting, but a dynamic, living faith that allows life to unfold without resistance. The silence of true belief also brings a profound sense of peace. You are no longer haunted by doubts or plagued by fears, because you know that your belief is enough. You are not seeking guarantees, because you have already decided within yourself that your vision is real. This peace is a powerful presence. It radiates from you, affecting those around you. People may not understand it, but they can sense it. There is a calmness in your demeanor, a quiet confidence that does not require explanation. Others may wonder why you are so sure, why you do not waver, but the silence of true belief needs no explanation. It is a language of its own, one that speaks through quiet strength. When you hold true belief, you are free from the need to seek constant evidence or to obsess over outcomes. You do not need to see the full path, because you trust that each step will reveal itself in its own time. This surrender does not mean giving up control. Rather, it is an empowered state of allowing. You are still actively creating, but from a place of trust rather than force. You understand that your belief is a seed planted within you, one that will grow and bear fruit in its own time. There is no need to dig up the seed to see if it is growing, because you know that growth is happening beneath the surface, unseen but certain. The silence of true belief, then, is a profound act of faith. It is a way of living that requires no fanfare or public displays. It is a quiet inner knowing that all is well, that what is meant for you cannot miss you. In this silence you find freedom from the opinions of others, from the demands of the external world, and from the need to control every outcome. You live in the quiet assurance that your belief is enough, that your vision is unfolding perfectly, and that, in time, it will reveal itself in ways more beautiful than you could have imagined. This is the essence of true belief, a silent, unwavering presence that holds within it the power to transform your life. Releasing resistance through acceptance is a powerful way to align yourself with the flow of life and to experience true peace. Resistance often arises when we attempt to control, fight against, or deny situations that we find uncomfortable or undesirable. This resistance consumes our energy, creates tension, and places us in a constant state of inner conflict. When we resist, we are essentially rejecting the present moment as it is, pushing against reality instead of embracing it. This struggle creates suffering because what we resist persists, holding us in a place of discomfort, frustration, and even resentment. But by choosing acceptance, we release this resistance and allow ourselves to experience life as it unfolds. Acceptance is not about giving up or settling. It is not a passive act or a resignation to unwanted conditions. Rather, it is a conscious decision to stop opposing what is and to open ourselves to the present moment. Acceptance allows us to acknowledge reality as it stands without judgment or criticism. It is a form of release, an act of surrender that enables us to let go of our attachment to how things should be. This letting go doesn't mean that we become powerless or inactive. On the contrary, it frees us from inner turmoil, clearing the way for us to make choices with clarity and to respond to life in a constructive, empowered way. When we release resistance, we stop wasting energy on thoughts of blame, anger, or frustration. We no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but instead approach situations with openness and curiosity. Acceptance helps us understand that challenges and obstacles are a part of life, and instead of seeing them as setbacks, we start to see them as experiences that contribute to our growth. When we embrace acceptance, we gain the power to transform situations from within, recognizing that true strength comes not from control, but from adaptability and resilience. The situation itself may not change immediately, but our response to it shifts, and this shift can change everything. One of the fundamental insights of acceptance is realizing that we cannot control everything. Often we resist situations because they make us feel vulnerable, powerless, or uncertain. In these moments, we may try to force outcomes, manipulate circumstances, or impose our will to create a sense of control. However, this control is usually an illusion. Life is full of uncertainties, and trying to manage every detail only leads to frustration and disappointment. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from this need for control and find peace in simply allowing things to be as they are. Acceptance also helps us let go of our attachment to specific outcomes. When we are deeply attached to a particular result, we create expectations that may not align with reality. These expectations become a source of resistance, as we are constantly comparing what is happening with what we believe should happen. When reality falls short of our expectations, we resist it, which only deepens our frustration and disappointment. By releasing our attachment to specific outcomes, we allow ourselves to be open to a range of possibilities. This openness allows us to experience life fully, without the limitations imposed by rigid expectations. We may even find that what life brings us is better than what we had envisioned. Acceptance fosters a mindset of gratitude and appreciation. When we stop resisting, we start noticing the beauty and lessons in our current circumstances, however challenging they may be. Even difficult experiences contain valuable insights if we are willing to look for them. Acceptance invites us to shift our focus from what we lack or what is wrong to what is present and available to us now. This perspective can be incredibly liberating, as it allows us to see that every moment holds value, that each experience contributes to our journey, and that there is always something to appreciate, no matter how small. The process of releasing resistance through acceptance also enhances our relationship with ourselves. When we resist, we are often reacting out of fear, insecurity, or a sense of inadequacy. Acceptance, however, teaches us to trust ourselves, to have faith in our ability to navigate whatever life presents. We become kinder and more compassionate toward ourselves, understanding that we are doing the best we can in each moment. This self-compassion allows us to release self-judgment and criticism, to accept our own humanity and imperfections, and to approach ourselves with love and understanding. Acceptance becomes an act of self-care, as we stop fighting against ourselves and instead offer ourselves the grace to simply be. Through acceptance, we develop inner resilience. Life is unpredictable, and we will inevitably encounter situations beyond our control. But when we cultivate acceptance, we strengthen our ability to remain steady and composed, even in the face of uncertainty. This resilience is not about never feeling pain or frustration, but about having the inner resources to move through these experiences without becoming overwhelmed by them. Acceptance teaches us that we have the strength to endure and adapt, that we are capable of finding peace even in difficult moments. Releasing resistance through acceptance is a journey toward inner freedom. It is a way of liberating ourselves from the constraints of fear, control, and attachment. By embracing what is, we become fully present, engaging with life instead of resisting it. We allow ourselves to flow with the natural rhythm of existence, to experience each moment without judgment, and to trust in the unfolding of our path. This freedom brings a profound sense of peace and contentment, a deep-seated joy that is not dependent on external conditions. We realize that we are always whole, always enough, and that our true power lies not in changing the world around us, but in changing the way we relate to it. Acceptance, in this sense, is the ultimate act of empowerment, a choice to embrace life in all its complexity, beauty, and unpredictability. Calm persistence is the art of moving steadily toward a goal, without the frenzy of forced effort, worry, or impatience. It's a powerful blend of quiet determination and unwavering focus, allowing one to maintain progress even when obstacles arise. Unlike the high-intensity push that's often associated with ambition, calm persistence is marked by a measured, composed approach that channels inner peace and resilience. This quality becomes particularly valuable in a world that often emphasizes immediate results and fast-paced action. Calm persistence, however, is rooted in the understanding that lasting success is not always about speed, but about consistency, patience, and a steady belief in one's direction. This form of persistence arises from a clear vision, a commitment to a purpose that goes beyond temporary challenges. When we are calmly persistent, we align ourselves with our goals in a way that does not rely on constant motivation or outward excitement. Instead, it's a grounded dedication, a deep inner choice to keep going regardless of circumstances. There may be moments of fatigue, doubt, or difficulty, yet calm persistence helps us recognize that setbacks are simply part of the journey. We accept them without letting them deter us, understanding that true progress is often incremental and sometimes even imperceptible until we look back and see how far we've come. One of the defining features of calm persistence is a trust in timing. Rather than forcing outcomes or becoming frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as desired, we develop a patience that is born of confidence. This confidence does not require constant reinforcement from others or proof of immediate success. It's the quiet knowledge that with each step, we are moving closer to our vision. This trust enables us to release the need to control every detail or to rush through the process. When we let go of the desire for instant results, we create the mental space to remain focused, creative, and adaptable. Calm persistence allows us to be receptive to new ideas and opportunities that might otherwise be missed in the haze of impatience. In practicing calm persistence, we shift our focus from achieving a final destination to embracing the process itself. Often we associate persistence with enduring hardship or pushing through obstacles with sheer willpower. Calm persistence, however, is about pacing oneself and honoring the natural rhythm of progress. This mindset encourages us to see each day's efforts as valuable, even if they seem small or insignificant. Over time, these consistent, steady actions compound, creating a foundation of strength and expertise. By focusing on the process, we free ourselves from the pressure of needing everything to happen immediately. We can take joy in each small step, knowing that they are all contributing to the larger picture. Also strengthens our resilience, which is crucial when facing inevitable challenges. When we are emotionally calm, we are better able to approach obstacles with a clear mind, free from panic or frustration. We are not reactive, nor do we view challenges as personal failures. Instead, they are simply opportunities to adjust our approach, to learn, and to grow. This mindset prevents us from becoming discouraged by temporary setbacks. By maintaining our calm, we conserve energy, allowing us to bounce back from disappointments with grace and determination. Calm persistence turns setbacks into learning moments and encourages us to keep going, no matter the circumstances. Another advantage of calm persistence is its ability to nurture sustainable motivation. While intense bursts of effort can be exhilarating, they are difficult to maintain over the long term. Calm persistence is rooted in a gentle, enduring commitment that doesn't rely on high-energy motivation, but rather on consistency and self-discipline. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of mood or circumstance. This steady approach allows us to avoid burnout, as we are not constantly pushing ourselves to extremes. Instead, we are pacing ourselves, maintaining a level of effort that we can sustain day after day. This sustainable approach keeps us energized and focused, allowing us to make progress without exhausting ourselves. It also fosters self-compassion. When we are calmly persistent, we allow ourselves to be human, acknowledging that there will be good days and challenging days. Rather than criticizing ourselves for not meeting certain milestones or for making mistakes, we learn to be patient and forgiving. This self-compassion strengthens our resilience, making it easier to stay on track without getting bogged down by self-judgment. By accepting our imperfections, we create an environment in which we can continue moving forward without the burden of guilt or frustration. Calm persistence, therefore, becomes a practice of kindness toward ourselves, encouraging us to keep going with gentle determination. There is a quiet confidence that doesn't need constant external validation. We know our direction, and we trust ourselves to get there. This inner trust allows us to move forward without constantly questioning our worth or our choices. Instead of seeking approval or praise, we find satisfaction in our own progress, in the quiet victories that come from showing up day after day. This self-assurance makes us less vulnerable to the opinions of others or to the pressure to conform to others' timelines. We become centered within ourselves, able to follow our own path without distraction. Is a way of being, a commitment to steady, purposeful action that values the journey as much as the destination. It's about cultivating patience, resilience, and trust in the face of uncertainty. This quality allows us to meet life's challenges with grace and confidence, knowing that each effort, no matter how small, is contributing to our growth. Calm persistence teaches us that success is not a race but a steady progression, one that requires both strength and gentleness. As we embrace calm persistence, we discover a powerful inner resource, an unwavering commitment to our goals that carries us forward with peace and purpose. Is the quiet yet powerful approach that allows us to journey through life with resilience, patience, and unwavering focus. By embracing this steady, composed mindset, we align with the natural rhythm of progress, allowing each small step to bring us closer to our vision. This calm dedication not only sustains us through challenges, but also frees us from the pressures of rushing or constantly seeking validation. Calm persistence becomes a guide that leads us towards success while keeping us grounded, balanced, and at peace with the journey itself. Thank you. Guarding the power of your inner world is the foundation of every experience you encounter in life. It is within this sacred, private realm that your true desires, thoughts, and intentions take shape before they emerge into the external world. Just as a precious treasure is shielded from those who might misuse it, your innermost aspirations, beliefs, and dreams deserve protection, for they are the seeds from which your reality unfolds. Each thought you entertain, each vision you hold dear, has a life of its own, capable of shaping and molding the experiences that will ultimately become your life's journey. To reveal these delicate threads of thought prematurely, or to cast them out to be judged, critiqued or influenced by others, is to scatter the very energy that fuels their manifestation. In the privacy of your inner world, the most powerful thoughts and visions are nurtured. They grow as silent, potent forces, moving without the need for validation or approval from the outside world. Every vision you hold within is yours alone, and only you understand its nuances, its unique appeal, and its purpose. When you guard these private aspirations, you honor the autonomy of your imagination, allowing it to shape freely and to grow without interruption. There is a peace in this guarded solitude that provides a fertile ground for creativity and inspiration to thrive without the intrusion of doubt or disbelief. This isn't merely about hiding your dreams from the eyes of others, it's about giving them the nurturing, silent space they require to grow untainted and undisturbed. Allowing your inner world to remain concealed has another significant effect. It fortifies your belief in yourself. When you keep your dreams and visions close, you reinforce the idea that the only validation you require is your own. There is no need to dilute your intentions by seeking approval or by questioning whether they align with what others expect of you. To allow your inner world to be your private sanctuary is to trust that your deepest, most genuine aspirations are worthy of being brought into reality simply because they are yours. This kind of unwavering faith in oneself draws upon an infinite reserve of strength and resolve, and it is through this quiet confidence that remarkable things are brought into the light of day. This is the essence of creative power, the inner certainty that fuels you, unaffected by the skepticism or opinions of others. When you keep your inner world protected, it is easier to hold on to the purity of your intentions. Every aspiration begins with an idea, a spark that stirs the imagination. This spark is as fragile as it is beautiful. It is easily affected by doubt, criticism, or even premature excitement. To share this spark prematurely is to expose it to the scrutiny of others who may not see its value or may not fully understand it. They may unwittingly project their own limitations onto it, casting shadows of doubt over what was once a clear, bright vision. But when you hold your aspirations within the sanctuary of your mind, they are allowed to develop without interruption. They are sheltered from judgment, safe from any influence that could diminish their intensity, and free to grow in their own time. In this way, they become robust, unshakable, and ready to emerge into the physical world only when they are fully formed and fortified. This practice of guarding your inner world is also a profound lesson in self-discipline. It requires restraint to refrain from sharing every detail of your journey with others, particularly when you are excited or filled with newfound inspiration. However, in cultivating this restraint, you strengthen your own relationship with yourself. Each time you choose to keep a vision or an intention to yourself, you are affirming that you alone hold the power to shape your destiny. It is an act of independence and self-respect, a reminder that you do not need others' perspectives to validate your own path. This is a path that you walk with quiet resolve, a journey shaped by your own beliefs, free from the noise and interference of the outside world. Guarding the power of your inner world allows you to remain adaptable and open. When your thoughts and dreams are not influenced by others, you are more able to adjust them as you go, to refine them, and make them more aligned with your true self. This adaptability is key, as it allows your intentions to evolve naturally, responding to the wisdom you gain over time without being altered by external pressures or influences. You are able to hold the reins of your own creative process, knowing that it is yours to shape and modify according to your innermost guidance. There is a freedom in this, a liberation from the constraints of external approval, and a deeper connection to the source of your own inspiration. The power of your inner world lies in its mystery. Just as a great artist or creator does not reveal every stroke or every detail of their masterpiece before it is complete, so should you guard the work you are creating within yourself. There is a unique power in silence, in the unspoken dreams that are nurtured and developed in solitude. When you protect this power, you give it the freedom to grow in its own time, unencumbered by the limitations or expectations of others. And when it finally emerges into the world, it does so with a strength and authenticity that only comes from having been born in silence and nurtured in solitude. To guard your inner world is, ultimately, to honor the divine creativity within you. It is to acknowledge that the most meaningful aspects of your journey are not meant to be shaped by anyone but you. By holding your dreams close, you are embracing the true essence of self-mastery. In this sacred silence, you find not only the strength to bring your visions to life, but also the peace to enjoy the journey, knowing that your life's creations are the product of your own inner world, undiluted and unbroken. And as you guard this precious inner sanctuary, you create a life that is uniquely, powerfully, and undeniably yours. The desire for validation from others is a common yet deceptive impulse that can subtly take hold of the mind, often leading us further away from our true self. Validation is not inherently wrong, yet it is all too often a hollow substitute for genuine self-belief. Many people seek external approval to confirm the worth of their thoughts, goals, or even their very identity. In doing so, they give power to the perceptions of others, allowing outside influences to dictate how they see themselves. This dependence on validation can create an endless cycle of seeking and never quite finding, leaving one feeling both vulnerable and incomplete. When we understand the illusions that validation can bring, we begin to recognize that the only validation that truly matters comes from within. One of the most profound illusions of validation is that it creates a false sense of confidence, built upon the fleeting opinions of others. When we rely on external praise or acceptance, we place our sense of self-worth in the hands of those who, at any moment, can withdraw their approval. As soon as the praise is removed, or when criticism replaces it, the confidence we felt can easily fade, leaving us uncertain once more. Relying on validation from others is akin to building a house on sand. It may appear stable for a time, but it lacks the strength to withstand even the smallest shift in circumstances. True confidence, however, is unwavering because it is self-sustained. When we cultivate a belief in ourselves that does not require outside reinforcement, we develop a resilience that can endure any storm, any criticism, and any fleeting disapproval. This desire for validation often leads to a misalignment of priorities, distracting us from our authentic path. Many find themselves pursuing goals that are not truly their own, molded by what they think others expect or admire. When we are driven by the desire for approval, we begin to sacrifice our own values, compromising who we are to fit into molds that may have nothing to do with our true self. Instead of striving for what genuinely resonates with our innermost being, we adjust our actions and beliefs to please or impress others. This shift, though subtle, is a betrayal of our inner world. We lose touch with our genuine aspirations, feeling disconnected from our true purpose and becoming increasingly lost as we search for fulfillment through external approval. Yet genuine fulfillment arises only from living authentically and pursuing goals that stem from a deep inner conviction, rather than the expectations or opinions of others. Another illusion of validation is the sense of safety and belonging it seems to provide. Approval from others may feel comforting. It may give the impression that we are accepted, seen, and understood. But this sense of belonging is often shallow, relying on maintaining a certain image or satisfying certain conditions that others impose. This conditional acceptance is fragile, and as soon as we deviate from what others approve of, we risk losing that acceptance. True belonging, however, is found in self-acceptance. When we embrace ourselves fully, we discover an unshakable foundation within, a place where we feel at home, no matter what others think or say. In this sense of self-acceptance, we can truly connect with others, not out of a need for validation, but from a place of genuine connection, grounded in our authentic self. The pursuit of validation can also breed comparison and competition, as we begin to measure our worth against the accomplishments and opinions of others. This comparison only leads to dissatisfaction, for it is an endless cycle that keeps us focused on what we lack or what we have not yet achieved. Each time we compare ourselves, we diminish our own unique strengths, belittling the journey that is ours alone. The truth is that no two paths are meant to be the same, and comparing our journey to others only serves to distract us from our own growth. When we seek validation, we start to see others as competitors rather than fellow travelers on the same journey. This mindset narrows our view, blinding us to our own potential and restricting the growth that could otherwise come from focusing on our unique path. When we release the need for validation, we free ourselves to celebrate our individuality and to appreciate the journey of others without feeling diminished by it. At its core, the illusion of validation is a belief that we are incomplete or unworthy unless someone else affirms our worth. This belief undermines our true power, keeping us bound to a cycle of dependence that leaves us ever more disconnected from our own sense of self. Yet in reality, we are complete as we are, inherently worthy without any need for external validation. When we realize this, we liberate ourselves from the endless chase for approval. This realization brings us back to ourselves, allowing us to act, create, and live in alignment with who we are at our core. By finding our worth within, we break free from the need to prove ourselves to anyone. Our value, our purpose, and our identity are self-defined, needing no endorsement from the outside world. As we step away from the illusions of validation, we create a space within where our self-worth is no longer conditional, no longer vulnerable to the opinions or judgments of others. In this space, we find an inner stability that remains unshaken, even when the world around us does not provide the approval we once sought. This shift allows us to live authentically, free to pursue our true passions, unencumbered by the fear of rejection or disapproval. We become empowered to express ourselves boldly, without hesitation, knowing that our worth is intrinsic and eternal. The path to true fulfillment begins within, as we free ourselves from the illusions of validation and embrace the fullness of who we are, independent of outside praise or acceptance. In doing so, we reclaim our power, standing firm in our own truth and living in harmony with our deepest sense of purpose. The kind that happens quietly within is perhaps the most transformative and enduring form of progress. In a world that places emphasis on outward achievement and instant results, we often overlook the value of silent, gradual development that takes place away from the spotlight. This unseen growth, though invisible to the outside world, is what ultimately forms the foundation of real, lasting change. It is subtle, slow, and often feels unnoticed, yet it builds the strength of character and resilience that shape the deepest parts of who we are. Just as a tree's roots expand and strengthen underground before it reaches great heights, the growth that happens quietly within us serves as the true source of our personal power. When we allow growth to happen outside the demands of public scrutiny, we preserve its purity. Growth that is constantly showcased is often influenced by the judgments, opinions, and expectations of others. The need for validation or the pressure to perform can affect the authenticity of our progress, subtly bending it to align with what we believe others want to see. But growth that happens unseen remains ours alone. It is untouched by external demands, free to unfold in its natural rhythm, and unburdened by the pressure to conform. In this way, unseen growth preserves our individuality, allowing us to transform in ways that are true to our inner being rather than shaped by the world around us. This unseen growth also grants us the freedom to experiment, to explore new ideas and perspectives without fear of judgment or failure. Growth, by its very nature, is a process of trial and error. It involves making mistakes, learning, adjusting, and moving forward. When our development is private, we are more willing to take risks, to learn from our experiences, and to challenge ourselves in ways we might not if we felt we were constantly being observed. There is a sacredness in this solitude that allows us to be vulnerable and to explore parts of ourselves that may be unfamiliar or unrefined. It is through these quiet, unobserved experiences that we gain the insights and understanding needed to shape our lives more fully. Another powerful aspect of unseen growth is that it builds inner resilience. Growth that takes place quietly, without the need for external affirmation, roots itself deep within our character. Because it is not dependent on praise or recognition, it becomes self-sustaining. It does not waver in the face of criticism or doubt, because it was not built to please others. This type of growth is like an unshakable foundation, strong and reliable, because it has been formed under the pressure of personal challenges and sustained by inner conviction. Resilience born from unseen growth allows us to withstand the trials of life, knowing that our strength comes from a place that no external force can shake. Growth is also significant because it requires patience, and in this patience we develop discipline and a greater understanding of time. In a culture that often demands instant gratification, unseen growth reminds us that real transformation does not happen overnight. Just as a seed takes time to become a towering tree, genuine growth requires time, persistence, and trust in the process. This patience is a quiet strength, teaching us to let go of urgency and to have faith in the unfolding journey. It is a discipline that helps us stay committed to our path, even when the results are not immediately visible. In this way, unseen growth becomes a teacher, showing us that the most valuable changes often take the longest to manifest. This quiet growth also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness. When we are not distracted by the need to present our progress to others, we become more in tune with our own experiences and emotions. Unseen growth is an introspective process. It invites us to look within, to examine our motivations, and to understand our own thoughts and feelings. As we grow quietly, we gain insights that are unique to us, learning what truly matters and what does not. This self-awareness becomes a guiding force, helping us to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. We learn to trust ourselves more deeply, relying on our own intuition rather than on external feedback. This connection to our inner self is one of the greatest gifts of unseen growth, as it anchors us in a sense of self that is both authentic and resilient. Unseen growth often goes uncelebrated because it lacks the visible milestones or achievements that society typically rewards. Yet it is precisely this quiet, private growth that sustains us over the long term. While public accomplishments may come and go, unseen growth remains with us, continuously shaping who we are. It prepares us for life's challenges, deepens our understanding, and strengthens our resolve. This growth is not concerned with recognition or acknowledgement. It is concerned only with the journey of becoming more aligned with our true selves. In this way, unseen growth becomes a powerful force, moving us closer to a life that is not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. This journey of unseen growth is one of profound self-discovery, revealing layers of strength, wisdom, and resilience we might never have known existed within us. It reminds us that our greatest transformations are often invisible, taking place in the depths of our own being. As we honor this quiet process, we discover a new depth of inner peace and a strength that can weather any storm. This unseen growth is not just a path of personal transformation, it is the foundation upon which a truly meaningful and purposeful life is built. In the end, it is not the outward signs of success that define us, but the quiet, unseen growth that has shaped who we are and who we continue to become. In a world driven by constant communication and sharing, there is often an unspoken expectation to explain our intentions, goals, and dreams to others. We feel compelled to justify our decisions or to lay out our plans in detail, seeking approval, understanding, or validation from those around us. Yet, in doing so, we often dissipate the very energy needed to bring those plans to life. Each time we explain ourselves unnecessarily, we divert energy that could be channeled into taking real steps toward our objectives. True progress, however, does not require an audience, it requires action. When we choose to reserve our energy for action rather than explanation, we harness a power that is focused, undiluted, and aligned entirely with our goals. Taking this approach requires a shift in mindset, a letting go of the habit of oversharing or seeking approval. It involves trusting oneself deeply, knowing that our journey does not need to be validated by anyone else in order to be meaningful or successful. When we choose action over explanation, we step into a place of self-reliance, finding fulfillment in the progress we make rather than in the recognition we might receive. This internal validation, grounded in the quiet satisfaction of knowing we are doing the work, becomes a far more reliable and enduring source of encouragement than any praise or approval from others could ever provide. It allows us to stay focused, driven by our own sense of purpose, rather than by external expectations. Reserving energy for action also preserves our creativity and problem-solving abilities. Each time we expend effort explaining or justifying, we are using mental and emotional resources that could be better applied toward creative solutions or practical steps. Explaining ourselves frequently requires packaging our ideas into forms that are palatable or acceptable to others, which can subtly influence or even dilute our original intentions. By keeping our energy directed toward action, we retain a clarity of purpose that is essential for innovation. Our creative process remains undisturbed, allowing us to explore ideas and possibilities without feeling the need to conform to others' expectations. This freedom is invaluable, as it permits us to fully realize our vision without compromise or distraction. Another significant benefit of reserving energy for action rather than explanation is that it helps us maintain a sense of focus and alignment with our true intentions. When we spend too much time explaining ourselves, we open the door to external opinions, which can create confusion or even lead us away from our path. Others may have ideas about what they think we should be doing or how they believe we should pursue our goals. yet their perspectives are based on their own experiences and beliefs, not on ours. By keeping our focus on action, we create a buffer that shields us from these potentially distracting influences, allowing us to remain true to our own vision. This unwavering focus is essential for achieving meaningful, authentic success. This principle also encourages a humility that is often overlooked in our culture of self-promotion. There is an inherent modesty in allowing our actions to speak for themselves. By choosing not to explain ourselves, we demonstrate a quiet confidence that does not seek validation from the outside world. This humility is a strength as it fosters a sense of inner calm and contentment that cannot be shaken by the need for approval. In choosing action over explanation, we embrace the idea that our worth and our success are not measured by others' understanding or acknowledgement, but by the fulfillment we feel in living in alignment with our values and purpose. The choice to reserve energy for action rather than explanation is about creating a life that is driven by inner fulfillment rather than external validation. It is about building momentum that is self-sustaining, powered by our own commitment, rather than by the fluctuating opinions of those around us. This approach allows us to grow and evolve on our own terms, to pursue our dreams with a sense of focus and purpose that is resilient and unwavering. By choosing action, we honor the journey itself, finding satisfaction not in how others perceive our progress, but in the quiet, steady movement toward our own vision. This reserved energy becomes the fuel that carries us forward, a source of strength that is untouched by doubt or distraction. Unrevealed desires, those cherished aspirations we keep quietly within, often flourish more easily than the ambitions we openly declare. The moment we share our desires with others, they can become entangled in a web of external expectations, judgments, and unsolicited opinions, which can weigh them down and create unforeseen resistance. By keeping certain aspirations unrevealed, we protect them from the disruptive influence of outside forces, allowing our intentions to grow freely in the soil of our own belief and conviction. In the quiet of our hearts, these desires remain untouched by doubt and comparison, free to take root and develop naturally, nourished solely by our commitment to them. One of the reasons unrevealed desires meet less resistance is that they are shielded from the need for validation. Once we voice our aspirations, there's often an instinctive desire to receive approval or acknowledgement, consciously or unconsciously seeking validation from those around us. Yet, this need for external affirmation can dilute the purity of our intentions. It subtly shifts the focus from fulfilling the desire itself to meeting the expectations or standards of others. When we keep our dreams unrevealed, we remain unburdened by these external pressures. Our energy stays centered on the goal itself, rather than on how others perceive our progress or success, fostering an atmosphere where our desires can thrive, driven purely by our own passion and vision. Keeping desires private also allows us to avoid the inevitable comparisons that arise when goals are shared openly. When we announce our aspirations, they often invite unsolicited comparisons to the achievements or experiences of others. Each comment or suggestion, however well-meaning, can introduce doubt, casting shadows on our original intentions and leaving us wondering if our path is valid. This can create a subtle, yet powerful resistance that slows our progress and clouds our focus. By holding our desires close, we preserve our sense of self-assurance and focus on the uniqueness of our journey, free from the influence of other people's opinions or accomplishments. We remain connected to our authentic motivations, giving us the resilience to keep moving forward. Unrevealed desires also provide a sense of freedom from self-imposed deadlines and pressures. Once a goal is shared, we often feel obligated to achieve it within a certain time frame, as if we owe it to those who know our aspirations to reach them by a particular date. This urgency can create an unnecessary pressure that hinders progress, making us feel rushed or overwhelmed. When we keep our goals private, we allow ourselves the freedom to grow at our own pace, following our own rhythms without feeling compelled to meet external expectations. This freedom fosters patience, allowing us to appreciate each step of the journey without feeling burdened by an arbitrary timeline or the fear of falling short in the eyes of others. Unrevealed desires often align more closely with our intuition, allowing us to cultivate a connection to our inner guidance that leads us more effortlessly toward our goals. When our desires remain private, we are less influenced by logic alone and more inclined to trust our instincts. Without the interference of outside voices, we can tune into our own intuition, noticing subtle cues, feelings, or ideas that guide us in the right direction. This intuitive alignment creates a sense of ease and flow, reducing the resistance that often arises from trying to follow a path that others may suggest or recommend. By listening to our intuition, we find ourselves moving in harmony with our deepest desires, fueled by an inner knowing that transcends the need for external input. To keep our desires unrevealed, we create a sanctuary within ourselves where our aspirations are free to grow without interference. This quiet, focused space allows us to nurture our dreams with patience, intention, and self-trust, enabling us to progress without the weight of external pressures or expectations. It is in this space that we find true freedom and resilience, empowered by the knowledge that our desires are grounded solely in our own authentic vision. Unrevealed desires meet less resistance because they are protected by the strength of our inner conviction, growing steadily and quietly until they are ready to bloom fully, witnessed by the world only once they have become an undeniable reality. Fulfillment is a rare and powerful state, one that defies the need for outward recognition and thrives instead on the quiet joy of inner contentment. In a world that values loud achievements, public successes, and visible progress, the idea of fulfillment that doesn't seek an audience is often overlooked. Yet, silent fulfillment is one of the purest forms of personal satisfaction, emerging from an inner alignment that needs no validation. It is born from living in harmony with one's true values and purpose, a quiet but potent force that fuels lasting contentment and a deeper sense of self. Mastering the power of silent fulfillment can transform not only the way we approach our goals, but also the quality of the happiness we derive from them. At its core, silent fulfillment is about finding joy in the journey rather than in the recognition of the destination. When we set out on any meaningful path, whether in personal growth, relationships, or career ambitions, the most rewarding moments often happen in solitude. These are the moments when we realize we're progressing, growing, or overcoming a challenge, not because others are watching or applauding, but because it aligns with our values and desires. In silent fulfillment, our satisfaction comes from within, independent of others' opinions or acknowledgement. This form of fulfillment allows us to connect with ourselves on a deep level, unclouded by the expectations of the outside world. We are free to move forward on our own terms, experiencing joy that is rooted in our own authenticity, rather than in any form of external validation. Mastering silent fulfillment requires a conscious shift away from the need for recognition and an embrace of intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the internal drive that propels us toward goals, because of the pleasure or meaning they bring to us personally, not because they might be celebrated or rewarded by others. Silent fulfillment thrives on this internal compass, allowing us to pursue goals that genuinely matter to us, regardless of how they may appear to others. By focusing on intrinsic motivation, we learn to measure success by the depth of our own experience, by the growth we achieve, and by the sense of peace we cultivate along the way. In this way, we move beyond superficial achievements and begin to value the subtler, often invisible progress that forms the foundation of a fulfilled life. Fulfillment also enables us to protect our personal journey from the influences of external judgment. The moment we seek acknowledgement from others, our pursuit of fulfillment can become entangled in others' expectations, often creating unnecessary pressure or stress. This shift from inner focus to outer validation can dilute the satisfaction we derive from our achievements, replacing the joy of personal progress with the anxiety of meeting standards that aren't truly ours. In contrast, silent fulfillment keeps us grounded. By seeking fulfillment quietly, we retain control over our own journey, shielding our dreams and goals from being shaped by others. We become less susceptible to comparisons or judgments, finding freedom in the knowledge that our joy is ours alone to experience, safe from the scrutiny or influence of others. One of the greatest benefits of silent fulfillment is the resilience it fosters. When we derive satisfaction from within, we cultivate a strength that doesn't waver in the face of challenges, setbacks, or criticisms. Because our fulfillment is not dependent on outside validation, it remains stable and enduring, even in difficult times. This inner resilience allows us to continue on our path, focused and undeterred, finding fulfillment in the process rather than being overly attached to specific outcomes. Silent fulfillment teaches us to trust in the journey itself, knowing that our happiness is not dependent on others' opinions or on any particular result. We develop an inner fortitude that helps us navigate life's obstacles with grace and patience, grounded in a sense of peace that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks or failures. Silent fulfillment also nurtures a sense of humility. When we are no longer driven by the desire to showcase our achievements, we create space for gratitude and appreciation for the journey. Humility allows us to recognize that fulfillment is a gift, something we experience by living in alignment with our values rather than something we achieve. By practicing silent fulfillment, we are reminded that life's most meaningful moments are often quiet and private, shared only between ourselves and the experiences that shape us. This humility fosters a deep appreciation for the simple joys in life, grounding us in a perspective that sees the beauty in the small victories and in the steady, sometimes unseen growth we experience each day. In mastering the art of silent fulfillment, we find a path to lasting joy, resilience, and true alignment with ourselves. By focusing inward, we protect our dreams from external expectations, enabling them to grow freely. We build a source of inner strength that remains steady, grounded in self-trust and humility. Silent fulfillment frees us from the need for recognition, allowing us to pursue our unique desires and live authentically. This quiet satisfaction is unshaken by the noise around us, reminding us that the most meaningful victories often come in solitude. With each step, we cultivate a life rich in purpose and deeply satisfying on our own terms. Thank you for allowing me to share this reflection on the power of silent fulfillment.